the Phoenix Rise podcast. Claire here, your host. So happy to have you with us. If you're new here, welcome to the tribe. This is the place where we talk all things spirituality, mindset, and business. Yes, and business. I know. Who knew? You get to have the best of both worlds, spirituality and success, awakening and ambition, 3D and 5D, because you're worthy of it all, babe. Now, I'm really excited for this episode because I've got a really good friend of mine, a mentee. She's in my mastermind, and she is one of the most beautiful souls that you're ever going to meet. This is Kayla. I will let her introduce herself in a moment, but I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. So this is Kayla's very first podcast. Now, I want you to listen to this episode specifically if you are one of those people who are like, I want to have a podcast. I want to be on podcasts. I want to talk. I want to share my story, but I'm too scared. I'm too scared to do it. I yearn for it, but, and it just keeps you in that fear. This episode is going to show you exactly how you do that. Kayla, please do say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. First time.
First timer. We're breaking you in gently, okay? Now, for those of you listening, if you can't see Kayla, she has got the best t-shirt on in the world. It says vulnerability is dope. And what I love about that is literally what Kayla is all about. You are all about being authentically vulnerable, right? Embracing that human essence that we all have and that we all are, and that so many of us feel like we have to try and hide. We'll get into that in a little bit, but Kayla, let's tell everyone kind of how we met, and we'll just dive into a bit of our story, how we're in each other's worlds, and just see, as usual, what kind of message wants to come out, wants to be channeled through us. So we met in the Lisa Nichols Ignite program earlier this year, which was a speaking program. So obviously speaker training. Lisa Nichols is like the best speaker in the world, in my opinion. So we were both in that world training under the Lisa Nichols team to really master our craft. So Kayla, I would love to know, actually, I don't think we've spoken about this, kind of what led you to be in that program in the first place?
So I followed Lisa Nichols on Instagram for a while, and I saw that she was doing the 5-day legendary speaker challenge. And so I joined that. I went through that the last week of August. And then, of course, at the end, like, hey, we have a program. And I wasn't fully in the situation at the time where I felt like I could dive right in. But as you know, she says you got to move those mountains. And I did. I did like the payment plan and stuff. And so, yeah, 5-day legendary speaker challenge, even the first day, but every single day she ignited.
Yeah.
That spark, that burning sensation in my soul. And I've been knowing since at least last year that I want to be a motivational speaker. And so going through, again, 8 weeks and learning, like, I remember that in 5-day legendary speaker challenge, after the 5 days, I was like, okay, I need to find out, like, get clear on my valley. And it sounds like that's the biggest thing that you can build off of. And so in Ignite, that was the biggest thing that I was looking for, is what's my valley going to be, and how am I going to be able to share that with the world?
I love that. And you know what I love that you said, and Lisa obviously talks about this, and I talk about this in my community as well, like, move mountains to make it happen. Like, because when you know that something is for you, and you know that in order to get to where you want to be, like, you have to do something, right? You have to take action. You have to make it happen somehow. And I think so many of us get caught up in that, like, well, I can't afford it right now, or it's not the right time right now, or I've got too much on right now. And there's always like those excuses, right? But so I would love like for you to share a little bit about that process. Like what went through your mind then? What, like, did you have those internal dialogues going on, or?
Yeah, so I definitely was like, you better make a plan. You have to, because I know that if you don't do this, you're gonna feel like crap. You're gonna feel, and I don't feel regret a lot because I believe just what happens in our life is meant to help us grow. But this, I know that if you don't move those mountains, you're gonna feel like crap. And so yeah, I had to do the payment plan, and I honestly I had to dig into my savings. And because the biggest thing that it boils down to is you're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Like this is something that you're passionate about. You've been saying that like you want to be a motivational speaker. This is the techniques that will teach you, that will help you into impacting your audience. So it's like you just gonna make it happen.
Yeah, I love that. And it's like I literally read something earlier. Oh my God, hold on, what was it? It was like, maybe the universe isn't testing you. Maybe it's waiting for you to what was it? It was like, maybe it's actually waiting for you to really like walk the walk, right? Like you keep saying that you want all this stuff, and it's like, okay, come on then. Like, you know, like how much do you want it? Like, because you keep saying, and I'm not talking to you, but like just in general, like we keep saying we want these things. You know, I want to be a speaker. I want my 10K months. I want to be, you know, whatever it is to you. And then when opportunities arise, like, okay, here's a Lisa Nichols program. It's like whatever it was, 4K. Here's a course. It's going to be, you know, 8K. Here's a mastermind. It's going to be 500 quid, you know, whatever it is. And it's like, but you keep saying that you want to achieve these things, and yet you're not willing to make any kind of investment in yourself to make that happen. I mean, it's crazy how many of us do that, right? And I know that has been me 100%, like so many times in my life, like not now. And then we just keep repeating the same things, hoping for a different result. Definition of madness. But it just doesn't happen. Yeah, I love that. So, okay, Kayla, so where are you at now? So you did the course. You did the training with Lisa Nichols, and then what happened? Like, what's been the story since then?
So now, it is beautiful being part of your speaker mastermind.
Oh.
I am trying to launch my first podcast, hopefully next week. So
next week, yes. I'm not trying. You are.
Yes, I am. Definitely. So that's kind of the biggest thing, and trying to gain more consistency with hopping on YouTube at least once a week. I had a friend that sent me a voice memo who she went through my YouTube videos, and she basically sent me like a 7-minute voice memo of like, girl, you are called to do this. The Lord Almighty is my witness. Like for the sake of the people you're going to save. And it's like, I challenge you to hop on at least once a week, whether it be for motivation or you're just sharing like a lesson that happened in your life. And that gave me just that spark again.
I love that. And this is what we talk about, right? Like when you're in your purpose, like when you're in alignment with what you're here to do, it's like you can't stop it. You can't prevent it. Like, yeah, you still get scared when you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And there's still going to be, you know, these obstacles that we have to overcome because we are in the 3D world. We do have a mind that we have to conquer and that we have to like, you know, bring into alignment with our soul and what we're here to do. But it's just so like exciting, right? It's just like our whole body is lit up so much by what we're doing. And I see this in everything that you do as well. And do you know what I would love you to share actually with the audience is, because I know that obviously we talk a lot in the mastermind, and I know that the podcast has been a big thing for you. And I would love you just to share your personal journey of knowing that you want to do this, but the blocks that you've had and how you're navigating those. Because I think a lot of people listening will be in that situation, right? You know, you're thinking, I want to do this, I want a podcast, but
So I've even had people throughout the years, in my sales job, I do presentations, and I've had people say that it sounds like you should probably do a podcast, because I always say, like, I could talk about like my self-love journey and life. I could talk for like 75 days straight. So people are like, oh, it sounds like long form podcast would be your thing. And I've known that I want to do motivational speaking. So, and I like the more intimate, like one-on-one, like talking with a friend. So the past few weeks, the biggest struggle is I know that it's overthinking and overanalyzing, like every little nitty-gritty thing, and then hearing the business side. So I've asked for feedback from our mastermind, and like what sounds more like me. And I had the name Authentically Kayla. It looks like on YouTube I'm just the second out of two. It's a very common name, Kayla. And so it sounded like the Authentically Kayla really sticks with me, and I am going to keep that for my YouTube. But for my podcast, I got the insight of, yeah, you should check, like, do your research on how many other people may have accidentally already have the same name, have something similar. You want to stand out, and just if someone searches that they won't get mixed up with you. So the biggest struggle I feel like is being unique with my name, but like representing what I do and who I am. So yeah.
How are you overcoming that kind of overthinking? Because I know that's a big thing for you.
You've said it a lot. A lot of people just do it. And like do it messy. And it's, yeah, I keep just leaning on my tribe to help, but I know that I just do it. I'm not like trademarking anything yet, so I don't have to like overthink that much. But yeah, kind of go with the flow and just do what I'm meant to do, which is impact people.
I love that so much, and I think I just want to share with the audience, because obviously I know Kayla's story in a lot more detail, but when you overthink things, and you know, we have this like tendency to want everything to be perfect straight away, and we kind of forget that now isn't always forever. And whatever and I know we've had this discussion, Kayla, like, you know, whatever you do now doesn't mean that you're tied to that forever. Like, we have a prerogative to pivot. We have a prerogative to change our minds. We have a prerogative to, you know, try different things, to change our names, to change our titles, to even change our business, what we're talking about. You know, our values will change over time, and as we grow and as we evolve and as we elevate. And all of these things are part of growth, right? They're part of expansion. But when we're first starting something, we kind of don't realize that, you know, in the future, it is going to change anyway. Like, absolutely guaranteed, nothing stays the same forever. And when we let that stop us or block us from what we're here to do, what we're actually doing is prolonging the pain, right? We're prolonging the agony of knowing that we should be doing it, but we sit in this feeling of inferiority or unreadiness or uncertainty, and we're waiting for clarity. But like I said to you, we're never going to have 100% clarity. Like, clarity comes with action, because as we move, the picture becomes more clear. Like, as we make decisions, as we take actions, as we start talking about things, the path becomes more clear and the vision becomes more clear, and what we want to talk about and how we want to do it becomes more clear. But until we take that action, you don't know what is going to feel good, what is going to feel uncomfortable, or what is going to sit right, or what isn't going to sit right, and all of this stuff. And I'm just so proud that you've come on this podcast for a start, because you were really nervous, and this is normal, right? And why I said to you in the beginning before we went live, and I said, just be, and this is not hard for Kayla because this is what her whole brand is about, right? Just be authentically vulnerable, because so many people feel that they have to hide that. Yeah. And feel that we can't be respected, or we can't be of service, or we can't be of benefit to someone else if I'm struggling myself. And actually, that's the complete opposite. Because when we show our humanness, when we show our realness and our rawness, that is what resonates with people, because we're all humans. And the beautiful thing about you is that you show that and you allow others to see that. And that's why they will be attracted to you. That's why they will be magnetized to you, because they can relate to you. And I just want to, you guys listening, like, you're just hearing me kind of give Kayla loads of love here, but for everyone listening as well, right? This is so important to have that realness about you. Don't hide, your emotions. Don't hide your feelings. Don't hide your failures. Don't hide your fuck ups. They're all part of your journey. And they're all part of you becoming the next version of you. So, Kayla, sorry, I took away a bit of your limelight there.
No,
I just felt really cool to share that with you, because I think that will really help a lot of people as well. So, I would love you to share. Is there anything that you would like to specifically bring to people, that you're feeling that you want to talk about, that the audience might want to hear now? And it's okay if not.
Yeah, so again, most people know me as just, I'm an older sister to two beautiful little girls. I'm an assistant manager in my office. I'm on social media, and I do talk about self-development, some mental health, like my self-love journey. But of course, it wasn't always like this. And just one of the lowest points in my life, here's the vulnerability, is I used to hate myself with a passion. And I used to be my own bully, and I used to call myself names that I didn't need anyone else to, like, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb. Like, I did that. I didn't need anyone else to. And so one of the lowest points was I was in my high school bathroom with, like, a razor, and it's just, I was telling myself, like, well, you have to do it. You deserve it. Like, that's why everyone keeps leaving you. And I harmed myself. But at the time, it was normal for me. It wasn't my first time. So I just, like, put my shirt down, and I went back to my class, and I passed out. And when my body woke up, like, everything was black. And I just hear my teacher saying, like, Michaela, like, can you hear me? And I was just like moaning and groaning. Then eventually she said, like, someone called the office and tell them we need an ambulance and paramedics, like, right now. And in my head, I'm like, what is going on? What? Um, and eventually my eyes opened, and I was looking around, like, just everything is so fuzzy. Um, I knew I was at school, but I didn't know what happened. And then the bell rang. And so while everyone is walking out to lunch, um, just as the paramedics are coming in, and eventually, like, my teacher asked me, do you know what happened? And I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak normal words. I was just like moaning. And she said that you had a seizure. And in my head, I'm like, I've never had what? I've never had a seizure before, so I don't know what you're talking about. And she also said to look down, and you can't really notice because I was purposely wearing all black, but I peed my pants. And so just eventually the paramedics took my vitals and everything. And as they were wheeling me out on the gurney, all I could think of was, oh my gosh, like, everyone's going to tell their friends, like, that's the girl that shat her pants. Like, that's the girl that she had a seizure. She was moaning and groaning. Like, it's crazy. And that's all I thought of. And then, like, and I was supposed to have lunch with one of my friends. And she did know that I have a past of self-harm, so it wasn't a surprise when I told her. But I told her the hospital I was going to, and just basically, it wasn't until literally years later, 2020 is the to me, 2020 is the start of my self-love journey. And one of the things that triggered that turning point is just scrolling on social media. I follow a lot of inspirational, motivational stuff. And I came across a video of Gary Vee's. And it basically, he was saying that you're not born hating yourself. Like, you don't come out the womb like, man, I hate myself. Like, I look so ugly. I'm this and that. Like, I'm annoying. You don't come out the womb like that. And that it's either one person that has repetitively instilled an opinion, a belief into you, or it's multiple people that have kind of projected those things onto you. And growing up, as you're just growing, being a child, like, you don't know, like, how to distinguish what's good and what's bad. It's just, oh, you're all older, so you're probably right because you have experience and I don't know what I'm doing. And just, we have a tendency to take people's opinions as facts. And so, yeah, that video just made me realize, like, you're right. I didn't always hate myself. I didn't always call myself names. I do remember, I don't know how long ago, but I do remember a happy Kayla.
Yeah.
And it made me think of that one person, just one of my parents. And it just, it was that plus again, while scrolling, I saw an informational graphic about what is gaslighting. This is what this means, and here are examples. And out of the like 10 examples, about 9 or 8 of them resonated, and it made me think of this one person, and it just made me realize, like, yeah, I'm tired of being mean to myself. I'm tired of, like, yeah, pinching my fat and be like ill, and like just being my own bully. I was tired of calling myself names, and the self-sabotage. That's why everyone leaves you, and that's why I felt deserving of pain. And it's like, I do want to learn how to love myself. How do I do that? And literally, I looked on Google too. Even though I followed a bunch of inspirational and motivational people, I looked on Google, like, how do you love yourself? What are the steps towards learning how to love yourself? And what's huge that I think most people don't realize is that right there is the first step. Is like, I'm tired of this. I don't like being mean to myself. I don't like the feeling of, man, you suck. Like, everyone hates you, and like everyone keeps leaving you. It's all your fault. And like, what would it look like for Kayla to be nice to herself? What does that look like? Anyway, it's that, just acknowledging that I do want to learn how to love myself. Like, that's just the first step.
It's like anything, I guess, isn't it? It's that awareness that you're even doing it in the first place, because I guess it's so normal as part of who you are and your identity that you formed. It's something that you do every day, and this can be applied, it doesn't have to be specifically around this topic, but this can be applied to anything. If this is part of your identity and you're doing it day in, day out, that's your normal. Whether it makes you feel good or not is really by the by, because it's your normal, and that's your baseline emotions. And like Kayla said, it's that awareness, that acknowledgement of, wow, what if this could be different? What if I could actually change this? Because we always have a chance and a choice to change what we think and our inner narrative, right? That little voice in our head, which impacts our decisions, our actions, and the world that we have around us, right? And I really commend you, Kayla, for I know it's not hard for you because this is what you do, but for being so honest and so vulnerable with everyone, because a lot of people can't do that. And it's stories like this that help others get over their own hurdles, right? And if you're listening to this and you might not resonate 100% with what Kayla's been through, but you can still take the message, right? You can still take the message of your life now being your baseline, being your normal. And if you don't like it for whatever reason, if it's not making you feel happy, if it's not fulfilling you, if it's not making you feel like you're doing good in the world and you're getting to live the life that you want to live, you can change it. But you have to, it's like going to AA, right? The first step is owning up to it. It's ownership that this is not what you want anymore, that this is no longer what you will allow anymore. And I really, really commend you for sharing all of that, Kayla, and thank you so much for being so vulnerable. It feels really ridiculous saying that to you, because that is basically what you're about.
Thank you. And again, like, again, now I'm on social media and I'm talking about self-love journey and like self-development. And again, as you heard with my story, like like self-love and like the journey of it all, learning to love yourself, that doesn't come overnight. One of my videos I have, I'm currently around 3 years clean from cutting or self-injury, self-harm. And it doesn't come overnight. So every day, ooh, let it flow. But every day that you're clean, it's like acknowledge that, because that's hard. Even though most people don't really know, or at least in my experience, is that when people hear addiction, most people tend to lead to drugs or alcohol, harder drugs, any like more so substances,
Yes.
and not behavior or action. And for me, again, it was like cutting my own skin, causing myself physical harm because I felt like I was deserving of that. And to go again from basically every day or almost every day to 3 years clean, that does not happen overnight. Acknowledging
it's the compound effect, right? It's like it's the momentum that you get. And again, if this story is not resonating with you, take the lesson out of this. Compound effect, build momentum, whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve or to implement into your life, day after day after day. It's the small wins, the small actions, the small movements that propel you, that give you that sense of, I've got this. This is now my new norm, right? So you living your life now, this is your normal now. That old Kayla is not where you are now because you've got that time behind you. And this is what we can do in any aspect of our life. Once we've built that time, it becomes our new baseline. I love this so much. It's I know this is quite a heavy topic for a lot of people, so I do want to put a kind of caveat that if this is something that you struggle with and that you experience, please do reach out for professional help, because there is a lot of support out there and you can't do it alone, right? Just like in business, in life, we can't do it alone. We are communal beings. We're meant to support each other and be here for each other and help each other. And this is, I think, one of the strongest messages that we can leave everyone with is always get help and support and guidance, whether that's in your business, whether that's in your personal life, whether that's in mountains that you're trying to overcome. There's always someone to help you along the way, right?
Amen. Yes, that's why.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Kayla, so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing your story. And thank you for getting out of your comfort zone and doing your first podcast with such professionalism, I might add. You would not have known it was your first time. You are absolutely like a pro. So thank you so much.
For the opportunity.
Pardon?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, you're most welcome. This is what happens in my tribe, right? Everyone rises up together. So everyone listening, I will put Kayla's details in the show notes below. So if you want to reach out to her, follow her YouTube, get on that journey with her, you can give her a follow and find her there. Kayla, what is your YouTube handle? Do you know it off the top of your head?
Yeah, Authentically Kayla.
Of course.
Just in case.
We'll put that in the show notes below as well, guys. And until next time, remember that you don't have to do it alone. There are people out there, no matter what your next hurdle, no matter what your next growth point, no matter what your next chapter of your story is, get the help, get the support, mentorship, masterminds, coaching, programs, whatever it is. Get someone to help you along the way. It's much easier that way. Kayla, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, everyone, see you all soon.